I think we should be live on the.
You should be live now because we, the SEO show, are live. I'm Frank Schwartz. That's Byron Lee in the middle down there. He got himself squeezed into the little area. Say hi there, Byron.
What's up, dudes?
Just plain and simple. And this is our special guest, Seth. How are you doing, Seth?
Good. How you guys doing?
Fantastic, man.
Doing good.
I love The Office.
Thank you.
And we have Andrew from Say What's Happening, brother.
What's going on?
Jeez, you don't have your screens down, but you're sitting at the you're not sitting at the live computer. You're sitting at yours.
I am sitting at mine.
Yeah, so Bull's showing today, so that's good.
No balls. I'll tell you what, man. That was funny as hell. I turned around. I was like, "Oh my god, man, that is awful."
Dude, they were just hanging there. I mean, it was live and in charge. Seth doesn't know, but on Wednesday, Sim Easy does a Q&A. They go over Google algorithms, Google patents, just basically whatever's going on in their lives, and they have a house pup. That one of the owners owns, Jake, his dog, and his dog decided to lay right in the middle of the floor, and it just happened to be right in between both Jake and Andrew, and his sack was like right there. You couldn't miss it. So yeah, the SEO show talks about SEO, money making, and dogs' balls.
Nice.
And today we are still sponsored by Pepsi. And Arrowhead Water. Contact me, guys.
I've got some Walmart water.
See, yeah, but now you look on your package. This goes into it. I like Walmart water, but it does not say filtered. It says your local municipality, which means you're buying bottled water out of the tap.
It does say that, and it says with flavor-enhancing minerals. Huh.
Yes. You are buying tap water in a bottle from Walmart.
Hey, well, I do what I
never
can.
knew that either. I did not know that, and my wife was like, I am not buying tap water. And we have some horrible water, but it comes out of the tap at 110 degrees anyways, because, I mean, we are the desert. So listen, we had to change up a few things, and we're sorry if anybody came to see our previously posted guest. We're not able to have him on the show today, possibly in a future episode.
We will definitely explore that. I mean, he's a good dude. We've been talking, which is the reason why you hear my keyboard kind of cracking right now.
No, and that's, and we're just not going to bring up the nitty-gritty bullshit that goes along with running businesses in the modern times, but we are still going to be talking about making money before SEO dies, and that's why we have Seth on. Seth, can you tell us a bit about you, what you do, and anything besides like porn? I mean, unless that's where you make your money. So.
Well, first I'll start off. I don't make my money in porn, but I nothing too unique. Have an SEO business. I do mainly local stuff. I do some affiliate stuff on the side. I've explored doing like membership stuff. Basically that, yeah.
Awesome. Yes. If we hear trucks, trades, or hookers, that's Andrew's office.
I'm like right next to the whole freaking universe. As far we should have planes landing here pretty soon.
I was gonna say, hey, don't laugh at that. The FAA changed Phoenix's airport plane routes and took $1 million homes and put them right underneath the entrance and exits to all these jetliners, and they are flipping out here in town. So it can happen. So planes, trains, and automobiles at Andrew's office.
Yeah. Put myself.
Yeah. So local and affiliate. That's cool. You said membership stuff, and that's funny because I'm trying to get a hold of Derek Halpern and talk to him about his views on memberships and blogs and SEO and stuff like that. So hopefully, Derek, if you're hearing, I'm kissing your ass, buddy.
Right.
So affiliate stuff such as high-end ticket or like WSO Warrior Forum.
So no, I mainly got into like weight loss, fitness kind of stuff, like just promoting like affiliate products from like different marketplaces, and marketing those, like ranking them with PBNs, stuff like that.
Awesome. So yeah, so you're doing more than just sending your list a link to buy the newest $7 product.
Right. Yeah. No, I haven't got into really building too big of a list for like internet marketing purposes yet. So yeah.
Cool.
I haven't really done that.
Yeah. No. Do you see anything major? And what part of the world are you in?
I'm in New York, Long Island.
Oh, Long Island. Okay, so oh man, I just watched a cool documentary about the Islanders. So even though I hate those guys, sorry, it's a Detroit thing.
Okay.
Fuck the Islanders, guys. Fuck the Islanders.
Yeah, whatever. Hey, you and your little crybaby hockey team over there in that little part of town.
All right, so nobody wants to go to Newark, and I understand it, but I still go down there. I still go down there a couple times a week to cash in my season tickets. I have to, man. What am I going to do?
You got season tickets. I can't bitch about that.
But, the Islanders, they're moving to Brooklyn anyway, so now all Long Island has is left is traffic, man. That's it.
I heard that, and I was like, why? But, I guess this isn't the hockey hotline, so
You guys talking about tennis or what?
Oh, shut the hell
I'm
up.
just kidding.
Hey, it's the only sport where carrying a stick and having razor blades on your feet is legal.
Yeah, that's true.
And the bloodier somebody is, the more badass they are, besides the UFC. I mean, it's UFC with sticks and skates. I mean,
So I got a question for Seth.
Yeah, do it, man.
Sure.
So as far as clients go, are you focusing on a lot of local businesses in your local area, or is it kind of like you do nationwide SEO for local businesses? Like just kind of wondering what your background is. I mean, I'm sure you've done a little bit of both, but kind of what's the bulk of things? I know I got started doing SEO locally just for people in Idaho where I live, and then eventually I figured out it was more profitable to kind of expand all over the country and world for local SEO. Just kind of wondering what you're doing for that.
Sure. So basically when I started out, I really kind of just tried to network a lot online, like with a bunch of different communities that we're all in. And through that, I've gotten a bunch of referrals from people who aren't necessarily like in the East Coast near New York. So I've really just been taking on like clients. I have some people like in California, Massachusetts, Florida, and then a lot of the work I do personally reaching out and trying to get people to my site via like New York SEO terms. The bulk of that stuff meet in person a lot of the time. So the only way to do that is have like extremely local, like close to Long Island and New York City.
Cool. Do you find that it's easier to be physically closer to the client? Like, I mean, do you do any face-to-face meetings and stuff, or do you just like Skype and IM and shit? Right.
Well, definitely for the people who aren't in New York, I'm mainly doing Skype, Facebook, all that kind of stuff. But people who are in New York, I tend to come across clients that really do appreciate like meeting in person. Like I'll go out to lunches with my clients and stuff. So I just try to find like an ability to form a personal relationship with them, because then it goes a lot more past the SEO. Especially like in the first couple months, like some of my clients' sites, they actually don't have sites, or they want to start a new site. So going through the site, like no return on their investment for the first couple months while they're trying to get on the first page. and having that like personal relationship, I found kind of assures me that they're not going to like bail before I'm able to give them like the true ROI in the later months.
I always love that when they kind of look at you and go, oh well, you know, we're gonna go on to something else, and you're like,
Yeah.
Yeah, I just had
one
one this
to build
morning.
your business, and now you want your SEO to last 30 days.
Yeah.
I had a 2-month guy this morning. It was his second month. Well, we were about to charge him for his third month. I mean, I just sent him his SERPFox charts, and it was very good, and he's getting more, you know, and I'm just like, I couldn't save the account, and so I'm like, well, I'll probably pull some of those links off my PBN. I mean, that's what I do, but it just sucks when they don't go. I mean, he was getting more traffic, you know, it is what it is, but it happens.
Right.
And I just want to make sure that everybody knows that that they can drop a link or drop a question in the Q&A box, and you can be over at YouTube and watch us. If you don't want any distractions, go full screen or watch Facebook or do whatever you're doing. But if you do have questions or you want to know anything, please ask in the Q&A box. Brian, I just want to answer a couple of these real quick. Brian, Google Hangouts are not recorded. I'm lying. They're automatically recorded. Always. You can catch them on the SEO show on YouTube, or you can just Google the SEO show. We're #1 for our name, thank God. So yes, everything's recorded always. And no, the system's not going to crash. Our systems can crash, but YouTube will not crash for us. And Ganti, hello, sir. Mark, good to see you too. Yeah, he says balls hanging. Yes, we said balls hanging. Yeah, it's better than blowjob, how we started our last 2 shows. So, yeah, Seth, you're in for a rude awakening. You're just going to be like, oh my God, I hope my clients don't see this crap, because that's what I know Andrew's saying half the time. Say, I gotta catch him. I know he's typing away over there. He's muted himself so nicely for us. He's gonna catch words every now and then.
Yeah, no, I did. Hey, you know what? Actually, I wanted to jump in. You know, Frank, you and I were talking earlier, right? And you know, we were talking about even just client SEO and everything else. And I said, you know, one of the big things that I think a lot of people wind up having an issue with, and I'd love Seth to jump in on this, okay? You know, once I took all of the offerings that I offered my clients or even future clients, and I go out and I go to try and pitch perspectives, I've taken what my offer is and I've shrunk it down to 3 cores. Like, this is all I offer. Because what happens is, you know, you'll have guys having to jump through hoops trying to do all sorts of crazy things that, you know, I just don't do, and it just kind of shuts my business down. You know, web design, we just don't do it anymore because it literally shuts my business down. You know, people come back, well, you know, do whatever you want to do, and then, oh, I don't like it. You know, you know how this goes, right? So, you know, Seth, do you got a structure of a core offering that you offer? I mean, because I always I've been starting to tell people, look, I never even realized that that's where our success really started to come from. By like, look, guys, this is what we offer. It's extremely unique. This is where, you know, this is where we put ourselves. We're not going, hey, we're going to get you to page 1 of Google that they've heard from every Indian SEO company that there is in the entire world. We go, this is the unique proposition. And Seth is also right. In New York, it's a very different. Like, you've got to kind of meet people face to face, but they do want to hear a unique offering, at least from my perspective. And once we figured out what our unique offerings were and what worked for us, we packaged them and we stayed true to our core, which allowed us to grow a hell of a lot bigger and a hell of a lot faster than trying to just, you know, pull from this, pull from that, and, you know, oh, maybe we'll do this a little bit, we'll do this a little bit, you know, the shiny object syndrome. But even within the business, just keeping it straight. What do you think, Seth?
You know, I personally have never taken that approach before. I've actually, through Source Phoenix, one of the trainings suggested kind of breaking your offerings down into smaller pieces, kind of like that, like to give a different value proposition than normal SEO. So it's kind of interesting that you mentioned that. But I'm kind of curious, like, what exactly your one of your core offerings might be.
Okay, so like one of our core offerings is that we create these organic traffic funnels, right? So we take their keywords, we geo-target, throughout the entire United States. We hit 180,000 locations, and then with our double agent plugin, we just funnel all that traffic back to their website. So what we do is we literally grab their keywords plus geo-targeted terms, stuff that their website would never be able to handle, would never be able to rank for, and then we just funnel them. So we kind of keep that as one offering. And what we do is we blast out 10 sites for each client each month. So they're constantly getting utter domination every single month. It's pretty easy for us. It's nice and easy for us to structure. It's nice and easy for us to handle. But that's just one of our core offerings that we throw out there, and it's unique because nobody else is really doing it.
Right. That definitely is interesting to separate yourself. I never really thought about doing it like that until recently, but that is interesting.
I mean, I don't like to go in there and say, hey, look, I'm going to create you a Facebook page. I'm going to create you a Google Plus page for $20 and then try and upsell you to a $15,000. I mean, that's not how, I mean, the psychology of the sales is there, but, that's just, we just won't do it, I mean, we try and hit higher end clients to begin with right out of the gate, and we will give them a softer proposition, like they don't need to take all 3 of our cores in order to move forward, but we do go, this is what we do.
That was one of the things that I a long time ago had was, hey, hit them with the Facebook and then you can upsell them. And one of the hurdles that I had mentally, but also that I came across was, I'm now offering you this small, very small package to do the Facebook and kind of manage it for you or help you with it. But then when you turn around and you quote them $10,000 a month for their SEO to build out their site, they're like, whoa, we're at $400, and now you want $10,000. Where the hell did that come from? So like what I've been doing lately is anybody I'm getting contacted for straight out SEO, I'm shooting over to Byron. He handles that local stuff, and I'm like, hey, go to Byron. That's what he does, and that's helped me with my video SEO that I'm good at and that I know, and it's helped because I'm concentrating more on what I'm good at. I'm getting faster, better results. And the clients that I've got are going, well, damn, dude, we're used to hearing from you from once a month. What's this every week thing? And I'm just like, yeah, I just got time to talk now. So
it's been awesome.
And Seth, I know that a lot of people are like, we've got to offer it. So I was wondering how many people are on your team?
Right now, actually, it's just me. I have some outsourcers I work with, but I'm still at the point where I can really afford to kind of do everything myself, and I like doing everything myself at this point. So I really outsource a lot of like content creation, citations, like small things, like repetitive things like that. But like in terms of like PBN building and like site creation, I actually do web design and stuff. Like I actually enjoy doing all that stuff. So right now I do it all myself.
Well, I'm going to definitely put you in my list of I hate site design because, like Andrew said, the guy goes, yeah, well, whatever you think's going to work. And as soon as we go live, he goes, I don't like that color. And it's like,
yeah, exactly.
Damn it, dude. You know what it's going to take me to do just to change the color? I hate this. So, yeah, I'll put you in the list. I'll just shoot this shit over to you.
Unfortunately, one of my client getting models for SEO is to sell them on a website and then sell them the SEO. They get a website which is usually more expensive one time than their reoccurring SEO would be.
Exactly. Yeah.
And so I do it that way, which it's kind of a double-edged sword. I mean, just like Andrew said, you get all these people, and it's like, well, do what you want or model this site, and then they look at it and they're like, well, this doesn't even look like what you gave me, and I'm like, well, actually it does. You didn't give me much to go off of, type thing, and it sucks because that's one of my main lead gen sources for getting SEO clients, and You know, it's something that I've toyed around with, just being a website design company or just being an SEO company, but right now it's kind of where I'm stuck in that middle ground, and hopefully I'll figure it out. But Andrew's comments totally make sense, because I would really like to move in that direction as well.
Well, and I think, and you know, I know that Andrew has, you know, a team of outsourcers and stuff, but that finding the guy or group or whatever that I could go to and depend on, that if I even needed to have them connect with the client, I'm a fear factor type of guy. I was afraid that dude was going to stab me in the back and screw me for the billing, you know, and tell the guy, I can do it for half of what Frank's charging you for, and now, you know, I lose the client. So I never trusted that one-on-one. And I said, if I had an employee, then I know where the guy sits, and when he's talking shit, I can turn around and slap him, you know. So I've always been afraid to, you know, let that control go, and that's just me being a freaking control freak. So.
Yeah, and I'll tell you, you know, everything that we did in our business, and this is just for those people that are like, I'm looking at some of the questions and stuff like that, right? Every single thing that we've done with our business, I actually sit down and I document exactly how every task is done. I mean, I'm talking about down to the minute detail. And it's not really because like I'm a control freak like that, but it's because I really want to create that system to make sure that it's like a rinse and repeat and a rinse and repeat. And then when I want to put employees or I want to outsource it, I can literally say, here it is, you know, this is what we do, this is how we do it. I'll even create a training video, even if I don't expect that I'm going to be outsourcing it at all. So later on I can tweak it, and later on I can kind of mess with it, because it's hard when everything's up here, right? I mean, yep. It's like I know what's going on, but nobody else seems to know what's going on. Like I said, once we broke our things down to a couple of core models and said, look, these are our core offerings, this is all we do, like I said, that's when we started to see shit really, you know, skyrocket for us. It was like a complete and utter game changer, and I didn't expect it, but it actually made life a hell of a lot easier because we were able to put all those systems in place just to make it happen.
I mean, that makes it so smart. Let's jump over to Doug Huggins' question. Built sites for members that ranked high massively, but we had people mention that the site was not professional and it made them money, but it wasn't pretty. Doug, that's the problem that I came across, were people who wanted something, didn't want to pay for it, didn't like what the finished product was, and didn't care about the return on investment. I personally, I talked to a guy, I interviewed him, he was going to be my web guy, and he said, well, look at my website. And I said, well, I did, and it's 100% Flash. And he's like, yeah, I know, isn't it awesome? And I said, well, it looks great, but I can't do anything with that, and I can't hand that to a client in SEO of work. And so, you know, as pretty as it is, it's not going to work. And he goes, well, you just don't know what you need. And I said, well, no, I know what I need. You don't know what I need, and that's killing me. So pretty sucks. It can be done. I like Matt Woodward's site personally. I love the colors. I love that little cartoon-ish vibe that it's got. But I mean, he's a blogger, so you know he can get away with a little less professional looking. I mean, if that's even a term. I'd rather have just like you said, Andrew, when I was talking to you about AdSense, and you and Jake both said, stop buying all of these themes that just, you know, are constantly having to be updated. Go with the 2014, you know, or the 2012, and just use the basics and just get it up there and get the content, and, you know, throw your ads up there and start watching it convert. And as soon as I did that, one, I saved a shitload on buying a theme and unsubscribed from every theme seller out there, which kind of pissed them off. But the sites are going up faster, cleaner, and I'm getting a lot more positive reaction from Google, you know, because the sites are loading and the shit's there and it's got good content and it's just so much smoother.
Well, so, I'll tell you, when it comes to AdSense, right, we always found that the uglier the site, the better it converted. I know that sounds absolutely awful, but the plainer that the site is, because it just draws people right to the ad. It's like, God, this is boring. I don't want to sit here and read this stuff. You click on the ad, and great, that's exactly what I want you to do. So, I don't know. It's just one of those things.
No, it's awesome because it had the little side thing and put up a banner for a CPA offer and all of this. And I was looking, I'm beta testing heat maps, and I'm looking, nothing along the side. So I took the one test site and I made it just full width. Didn't change content, didn't change anything, just took the side panel off, and all of a sudden I'm getting double the click-through, and I'm seeing that everything is staying right above the fold. Nobody's scrolling because you're right, it's ugly and nobody's reading the content. They're just seeing that ad and clicking on it because they've already seen it and Google's giving them what their retarget. So I like ugly sites now. But yeah, that's that. Gonti, yes, we can get rich off of water.
Hey, Seth, listen, I'd love to throw you out a question, right? And,
sure.
and I thought this is a great question to ask anybody, especially like with client SEO, right? So, if you were going to start over today, right? You're gonna completely start over. You have all of the knowledge, but you haven't made any of the mistakes, or you haven't, you can wipe the slate clean. How do you recommend somebody who wants to jump into SEO? Where would you recommend them to jump into? Would you recommend them to jump into client, affiliate, and then how would you structure that for them? Because I think that this is like some of the information. I think that maybe some of the people, because somebody had asked a question before, or there's a question up here now. It says, "This is what I'd love to hear about: more effective, scalable models in client SEO." So, what would just be your thoughts? I'd love to hear everybody's thoughts on this. And even sure. Byron jump in afterwards, and then Frank, you jump in. I just think that's cool, Everybody has a different take.
The first part of the question, I definitely recommend people jump into client SEO, mainly because even while you're still learning how to do SEO, if you can sell yourself, you can go out and get clients and start making money immediately. So that's kind of the biggest thing for me. Like, especially if you're someone who's given up like your day job and you're using SEO to pay your bills, then definitely client SEO is the fastest way to go out and make money. Because affiliate SEO, like you're marketing your own sites and you need to know how to do SEO. And if you can't rank your sites, you can't make any money. But like I said, for clients, you can go out and start making money right now and figure out how to rank them, or even outsource them to people like how you were saying before, how you outsource your SEO route, I would go.
I think maybe, are we losing Seth a little bit?
It's a traffic thing. It's just the net speed.
It's just the overwhelming amount of people that are on the SEO show right now that are just melting Google Hangouts.
Hey, dude, right now we are at an all-time high for today.
Hey, and just so you know, I had spoken to another gentleman who was going to be here today. We're actually pretty cool. We're gonna hook up and we're gonna get him all squared away. So Frank, I just wanted to give you the update.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Hey, like I said, I love everybody.
I know you do.
I'm just a hippie at heart, brother.
And
tattooed, long-haired freak, but I had to give that over to Byron and let him. I'm
going to let you guys know what a sensitive guy Frank is real fast, okay? Just on the lighter side, because the SEO show is supposed to be on the lighter side, right? So for those of you guys that don't know, right, Frank and I, we speak quite a bit. Actually, we speak about everything in the world outside of just, I don't know, any subject comes up, we talk about it, right? So I was talking to Frank yesterday, and I was actually bringing my wife to the doctor because she had gotten diagnosed with a brain aneurysm, right? So yeah, Frank, I'm going to go here right now, and I know I'm looking at Frank's face. He's like, "Oh,
you're going to make me cry."
Right. So she got diagnosed a couple of years ago, and I said to Frank, "Yeah, listen, I got to bring her down to the neurologist today. This, that, the other thing." So Frank goes, "Listen," because Frank and my wife they are very good friends on Facebook, and they banter with each other, and they're both very thick-skinned, which I like, So Frank goes, would it be really inappropriate if I took a crash helmet and I put it on her page? So I'm telling my wife that, and my wife is like, oh my God, she's like, that is absolutely hysterical. Now, some people might be offended, right? My wife is like, oh yeah, that's great. I'm going to beat him to the punch. So like I said, I think in anything, one of the biggest things is to kind of have a thick skin. But I don't even know where the hell I was going with this, but I thought it was funny, and I was going to out Frank on how sensitive Frank is.
Frank's a dick. I was telling my wife about that too. That's what's so funny. And she was like, oh my goodness. I'm like, yeah, we got to find a crash helmet to send them. And she was like, oh,
yeah, absolutely.
Oh my God, you're so mean. I'm like, it'll be all right. No, Byron, what would you do in that same situation? The whole starting out thing. I mean, you and I have talked about that before.
Yeah, we have. Well, I would do definitely client SEO just because of the pure fact that 99% of the time affiliate SEO takes a certain amount of time to set up, and if I wanted to get cash in my pocket now and start a business with the knowledge I had now, and if I had 0 clients, even if I was working some day job at a gas station or fast food or something, I could probably go and in a month I'd be making a few $1,000s with just client SEO and then move on to affiliate SEO. So 100% client SEO. I probably would start off with a website too, because it would be an easy sell. I'd probably do what I'm doing now, sell someone on a nice $3,000 to $5,000 website, get them signed on for some SEO for a couple grand a month, and I'd be out of the gas station. You know what I mean? So.
Yeah, listen, I agree. Seth, what would you do as far as your offering go? Would you kind of do the same thing? Would you hit them with the website, and then, or if they already have a website, what would be your angle?
Actually, I kind of sell my clients. I've gotten most of my clients the same way, where I've set them up with a website or kind of tweaked their website and then went from there with the SEO. But outside of that, like most of my clients really come from that angle. So I'm not too sure how to go outside of that. I'm either getting referrals or starting kind of with the website. That's like my main lead gen right now.
Okay. Which is cool because, like I said, we actually take a different approach, right? Like most of these people, they already have like very well established websites. They're already bringing in traffic. Now they're just looking cast a wider net. So it's actually really cool, right? Because there's so many different ways that you can go with SEO. There's so many different angles. Like I'm actually looking at some people, like they're putting in comments and stuff like that in the questions. And somebody was saying like, well, what happens when you start by offering Facebook and social? Is it easy to deliver? It's easy to deliver and then upgrade the clients. And yeah, I mean, my problem is that like I'm not a huge social guru. And if you guys are building websites, that's a great in, So a lot of these people, what I would say to anybody who's actually listening to this right now is grab your strength, right? Make that part of your core, and then you can expand out from there.
Well, and the one thing that I noticed when I tried to do the Facebook thing, and I literally took the clients that I had that were doing the social, I handed them off to somebody else's company and just said, that's what they do. They're the social people. It was a lot of little things that I had to do, so it was not being able to hand it out to a VA to consistently update the page, do everything, and then they're like, well, we're not increasing this, we're not increasing that. So there was a lot more of the hands-on approach. So, yeah, it's a good entry in. Converting them was a little bit tougher, and it was a lot of monotonous crap that I had to deal with that I don't do. I don't like that. I'm not a hand holder by any means. I'm a horrible SEO boss or guy, so I'm really bad with that. But to throw my 2 cents in, you got to start with clients because of the cash. I did affiliate for a year and a half, video affiliate, huge YouTube channel, 5 years old. We were PR8, huge amount of traffic, all the links. We got taken down because of community standards. Some people flagged us. YouTube took the channel away. my income went to zero.
Ouch.
That's how quick it was. It was worse than a Google slap for a website. Literally all my income went to nothing, and I didn't even get like an email other than, you broke our terms of service, we've suspended your account, and tough shit. And I was like, what? And there's no phone number to call, nobody to beg, you know,
No.
You can go on and follow all their little links, and it's a frustration. And I said, well, it's easier for me to go up the street and talk to somebody and say, this is how much, and I need at least 50% up front. And I know within a 30-day period we're going to have billings. And then there's going to be, you know, the monthly, as long as we do our job, we're going to have a monthly income that's going to be building forward. So that's my 2 cents on there. So, yeah, Larry, you can always upgrade if that's something that you're good at, and sales is just really not my strong point. So if I had a salesman in-house, I would love it, because he could go, you know, stroke the guys, and I could do all of the pushing from behind, but I don't do well with that. That's not my strong suit. So, and oh geez, I've got my screen so small that I've got to keep rolling. So
on
sorry.
that note of sales, I'll just throw something real quick.
Yeah, hippie, walk into my pizzeria and tell me you're gonna SEO me.
Me?
Yes.
Yeah, well, that's the thing
only
is
hippie here.
I have a bit of an issue sometimes getting clients if in person, and because of my rugged good looks mostly, but no, like I just don't really like it. So regardless of what I look like, I've just accepted the fact that I don't prefer it, and I've gotten a lot better at selling. But I do have a guy who's very good developing processes like live screen shares, and he's awesome, and I've been continually working with him. So the biggest hurdle that I have, well, it's not a hurdle, I guess it's in development right now, is just getting that selling process in place, because, I mean, if I feel confident I can deliver the results, but if I'm not getting clients coming in, then obviously I'm not getting paid. So that's kind of the biggest thing I'm focusing on right now, is I can bring in the leads, I can do the work for the clients, but making them a client is obviously the hardest part in my book. So I've got a guy I've been working with on that, and it's just kind of, it's trial and error. We've made a lot of mistakes, but we're doing a lot of things right now because we're getting more and more clients as time goes on.
I'll tell you, you know, Byron, it's pretty funny, and I want you to kind of think about this, right? So you're also into like creating these geo-targeted keyword type websites, right? Like us with the organic traffic funnels and stuff, right? So people are willing to spend a ton of money, and I'm just going to give people like, here's a great way. You want to go out and find some clients. This is a great way to do it, okay? I mean, this is just a couple of quick methods. I'll bump through what we've done. Like, so one of the things that we've done is that we'll do a training for, let's say, the local chamber of commerce, right? And I'll just go through like my little, you know, explaining Google how shit works type of thing or whatever else, and then basically say to them, look, you know what? These are a couple of things you guys can do for your websites right now. Go out and you can do it. But here's my number if you have any problems, if you have any questions. And you know what? Without a doubt, a couple of them will come back and say, hey, I was really interested. I even looked into it a little bit. Once they realized how difficult it was or that it just wasn't their thing, they came right back and said, boom, you know, can you do this for me? Or what we would do is before we walked into a client that, let's say if we had a pitch, or let's say somebody made a referral, and I don't understand why people don't do this a little bit more often, right? Like, we're willing to spend money on Facebook pages, on Facebook ads, I should say. We're willing to spend money on AdWords. We're willing to spend everything. But when it comes to a $10 domain, for whatever reason, we think it's sacred, right? Because a domain is sacred. So what we do is we buy a domain, we rank this guy's site out before we even walk through the door, okay, using our geo-targeted local methods, okay? And then we just overlay his website using our double agent plugin before we even walk through the door. So I say, look, do me a favor, check this out. Do a search for this. He does the search. Here, see that result? Click on it. He clicks on it. He already sees his website showing up. Okay? So now we basically finish up with, now he's seen instant results, and I said, well, if you want to keep it there, then, you know, let's discuss what it's going to cost to keep it there. And then we can figure out basically, you know, what we want to do from there. But at that point, he's kind of sold. He knows that I can do it, and it cost me $10 freaking to do it. I mean, $10 for a client acquisition, I'm willing to throw that every single time. I probably paid more in parking than I did for the domain, right? But domains are sacred, so we don't want to mess with that, you know? But like I said, we just blast it out there, and we actually show them the results. and we go, look, here it is. Now, I might try and get a couple of clients lined up in that same niche in case this guy bags on me or whatever the case may be. But I found that that is like one of the most effective ways in the entire world, because once they see themselves there, they don't want to leave. You know, they're like, well, what do you mean you're going to take it away from me now? What are you going to do? Yes, we're going to take it away, but we would like you to have it, you know? So let's figure out something. And I'll tell you what, we've found that that method works, and then we just scale it. Like I said, we do a domination method with every single person, every single client that comes through the door. We do a couple of other things for them as well. We make sure that we build out those groups, you know, which is like their social media platforms. But we're not really working on social media at all. We're just working on those groups that we know Google's looking at based on their patents. And then we do we have another offering that we give them. So we really keep it down to like 3 things. But yeah, when you know, you've got to walk in with something. And I actually now like walking in, and I like trying to sell. Before I hated it because of the fact that, like, it used to be give me a shitload of money and then I'm going to do something for you, which is like kind of hard for people to swallow because they've been burned before or whatever else. So like I like to give them something before we walk through the door. And I don't mind putting a little bit of work in ahead of time to make that happen. And that's where that system process comes in for us really well, you know. We just knock out a little site. Even if you wanted to build like a little SERP shaker site, right? Hit the county. You know, and just dominate them for a county if they're a lawyer or whatever else, or whatever the case may be. You know, that stuff's pretty cool. You know.
That's something that you know, you said that, and I'm just looking at pages and pages and pages of URLs and going, yeah, my domain names are sacred, and even though half of them don't have shit on them, they're still not going anywhere, and I will keep paying for them. But yeah, no, I think that's an even easier way of getting past selling, because you don't have to sell. It's more of a show and tell, not a sell. Right. Which makes sense for somebody like me, is just to go, hey, you know, even if you're not face to face, just going, hey, just do this search over in a tab and tell me what you see when you do it, and then we can talk more. And then they go, what the, you know, how'd you do that? Well, that's for me to know and you to pay for. So,
so Andrew, do you
go ahead? Go ahead.
Just one more quick thing. So, say you do this, you rank someone's site, you use the double agent plugin, and they see their website on the other domain. Do you then, if they say, yeah, let's go for it, we're going to pay you for this ranking, do you also work on their domain, or do you just solely work on that?
No, absolutely. Like I said, that's only one of the offerings that we have. The other offering is that we do actual SEO right on their main site, but we do it a little bit differently. Like I said, you know, what we're finding, like especially with local businesses, right? Like I don't even need to create a private blog network. I just don't need to do it at all, right? I mean, I put some I put some schema markup on the page. I throw one press release out to a good press release distribution network, and boom, they're ranking, and they're ranking really well. Now, obviously, a more competitive term, yes, I'm going to have to get into a private blog network. You know my feelings about private blog networks. It's not just a matter of how much power they have, it's how much juice they're going to flow through, user juice, because Google's 1,000% looking at how much user juice is pushing through from those sites. If there's no metrics, that PBN is basically dead. Once again, right from Google's patents, not from Matt Cutts, not from any of these knuckleheads. It's all coming right from their patents, right? And so we just got to be able to be a little bit more creative. And on some of our past webinars, we've given out how to do that. But yes, we get in the door with that. We build that out a little bit more. Then we go for the SEO on their main site, and we basically are able to continue to upsell them into our 3 components that we offer. But you know, it's always getting that foot in the door originally. That's why I said the psychology works with the offer them something little, and then you can move bigger. But I just can't. I don't see, you know, selling somebody a Facebook page and then trying to break it to a $15,000 a month contract. That's not going to work. The guy, you know, that's willing to pay $10 for his Facebook page, you know, chances are probably doesn't have the $15,000 in ad spend to just drop on SEO right afterwards, you know. So, like I said, but it is a matter of getting through the door, and it is a matter of, and I tell people all the time, like, if you don't want to sell, then you don't want to be you don't want to own your own business. You don't want to be in the SEO owning business. If you don't want to sell, then contact an SEO company and see if they're going to hire you as an SEO. Unfortunately, that is the way that it goes. I mean, you can do other things. You can do AdSense. You can do affiliates. You can do stuff. But you can't get into client SEO without going out and selling and speaking to a client. It's very difficult unless you have somebody on your team that can do that aspect for you. But outside of that, you can't. It's really difficult to kind of.
That's a hard lesson I had to learn, and I'm still learning that, is because I broke out and wanted to make my own business, and I'm like, oh, but I gotta sell, So I would ride with very little income, very little selling, and finally I started doing it myself, and then have this guy on a commission basis, and so yeah, it's definitely needed.
I mean, the statement that Andrew you just made, that you can't be a client SEO without a client, or talking to a client. That's about as easy as you can freaking break it down, because you really do have to talk to these people. I mean, Seth, hell, you're saying you're sitting down at lunch with them. You can't sit at home and go, I'm a client SEO guy. Well, how many clients do you have? One.
But the problem is that most people, right, in SEO, even if you've been in an SEO for 2 months, 3 months, your knowledge is 1,000 times greater than most people you're going to sit down with. Most people don't have that courage to think that they are in fact the expert, and you are an expert in reference to who's sitting there within that conversation. So you know a tremendous amount more than they do. You have, you have value. You have a lot of stuff that they're looking for. Most people are not in business to learn SEO, right? Like, if I own a local restaurant, I don't need to learn SEO. I need to run my restaurant. That's what I need. I need to find somebody that I can pay to do what I need to get done. And then it's just a matter of the restaurant owner not saying, do I need to hire an SEO? It's at that point, it's more of, do I think internet traffic is going to help me? And then I need to find the right person. So you just got to position yourself as you're that right person. And once you get past the point of, I'm not the expert, most people that I run into, whether on webinars or on SEMeasy or whatever else, they are much more of an expert than they even give themselves credit to. They're a lot more hard on themselves than anybody else would be.
Well, and I think that's because of the environment we're in. There are guys who are making statements or making claims that just seem so freaking high that we go, when 5 years ago, telling my wife, we met a kid here locally in Phoenix, sat down at a meetup, and he's like, yeah, I pulled in a $250,000 client. My wife looks at me and goes, what do you have to do to get that? And I'm like, I don't know who I've got to blow, but this kid knows something. So I hooked into him and quickly realized it was smoke and mirrors to sell a product for $200, and that was my introduction into the wheeling and dealing game. And I went, he knows nothing more than me. As a matter of fact, the stuff he's selling is wrong. And just to let you know,
you knew how to do a product launch, though.
Huh?
You knew how to do a product launch.
You're right. And the funny part was he did a product launch to live people and not on the internet. But he's still in business, and the best part is I outrank him for his terms because I just had to be a dick and go after it. So we have a question from Kevin. Hey, Kevin Smith, it's always good to see you, brother. If you weren't worried about immediate income and didn't want to deal with clients, what would you do? I would do affiliate. I'd build a list like a mother Hubbard.
I know Kevin's doing some AdSense too right now, Kevin.
Yeah.
I know that you're doing AdSense, and I know that Kevin was starting to see some success with it.
AdSense, driving to a lander, collecting emails, and giving them something of value, and then sell to the list. I did it raw without a list. I started up video, did a lot of face, like just literally getting on, talking about the product, and then ranking that video. Go for things that there aren't 50,000 freaking affiliates going for the same damn thing, and you're going to be amazed that there's money there, so you can do that. That's what I did. So
Kevin, there's also another way, right? So there are a lot of other companies out there right now that, like for instance, we did it with the PR. We did it with public relations companies, right? Where they would put out great information about people or whatever else, but people would always go to a public relations company when they were looking for, online reputation management. Most of these companies didn't know how to do it. So, you may have to go out and actually speak to some of these companies. There's other marketing companies that might not offer SEO services. If you're not looking to be the front guy, then contact them and have them sub the stuff through to you, because they already have a client base, right? They already made that first sale into that client. They're already their clients. So now they could upgrade them into something that you can offer, and you can offer it for them, for that company that already has the clients. I mean, honestly, that is the fastest way. If you really want to get in, I found the fastest way is to go into, like I said, business owners, going into, whether it be a business association or a chamber of commerce or whatever else. We found that we were able to get clients almost within a week or two. We already had clients signed up. I mean, but some people don't want to get up and publicly speak, and I get that, and I understand that. But like I said, if you're not looking to do that, then get somebody who is, or have another business that, that would be willing to take your services on,
Here's one, Seth. Question for you from Larry. This is a tough one. How do you get new clients? Do you mass email, or do you use mostly referrals? But how do you get new clients?
Right now, a lot of what I do, my main goal is like to make it 100% referral. Of course, it's not at that point yet. I do a lot of outreach, like online. I'm networking like through people. I have I have outsourcers who are cold calling for me. Those are my main methods right now, I guess. I wanted to get more into like mass emailing, like Info USA, things like that. I also experimented with like Facebook ads, and I also have like SEO running to my site for like local SEO terms.
That was the one thing that Andrew said about we'll spend money on Facebook ads, but we won't buy a $10 domain, and dick with that. I actually got a bill almost a year ago now. It was $1,500 for Facebook, because I didn't know how to set it up, and I was going for something, and it got the snot clicked out of it at like 50 cents a click. All of a sudden, I get the bill. I never even went back and checked it. I get the bill saying, Facebook took your money, and I was like, my wife's like, you will never ever touch that Facebook ad manager again.
Oh, I'm sure.
I've had $800 or $900 taken out of my credit card a couple different times that I was kind of like, oh crap, I forgot about that. It sucks.
I just got hit 2 months ago with my 7-year-old figured out the iTunes password.
Oh.
And yeah, $3,000 later of Power Ranger videos, and so if anybody wants a Power Ranger video, just let me know. $3,000. And my wife said, or somebody said to us, actually one of my wife's friends goes, well, can't you just call them and tell them? And I go, yeah, well, no, we spent the money. I was stupid. I'm paying the bill. What do you want me to do? But
you consume the product. You got to pay for it.
Right. But I think that's happened to everybody where we forget to turn the switch off.
Oh man! In my house, I've got all these monitors in here, and the wife's got that, and it's just her and I still have my Prime membership one-click shut off. It's just her and I in the house, and I'm still like, I don't trust you. I know you're going to be watching Supernatural replays. It's all that shit. So yeah, clients. It's a lot of referrals for me. Personally, and I usually, if somebody will be like, hey, do you know somebody that can do this or that? And I'm usually just instantly just going, hey, Byron, this is so-and-so, so-and-so, this is Byron. You two talk, I'm out of it. And that's the referrals. They're looking for me to do the work, and I'm like, yeah, that's not my wheelhouse. So Byron's just like, he's gotten used to it now. I don't even go, hey, I've got somebody who needs to talk to you. I'm just like, oh, here, Byron, you two now will talk. And he's just
I'm just like, oh, here we go.
I'll tell you what, Frank, you want another little tidbit, right? This is something that we actually played with for a while, and it works, so we continue doing it.
Come on, dude, this is a family show.
we throw we have all of our clients either on MailChimp or Constant Contact, depending on what we're doing, right? And what we do is we'll send out onto our list of those people, each of our customers, they each get like an update once a month. Just say, okay, guys, this is kind of what's going on right now in the world of SEO, and just give you a couple little updates, and this is some of the stuff that we're working on now. They're all getting it kind of like as a mass email. All right, there aren't that many people on the list, but we actually put right on the bottom of it and say, hey, listen, guys, just so you know, if you have anybody that needs SEO services, if you think we're doing a great job, you know what? For every 3 people that you refer to us, we'll give you 2 months free or whatever else. For each client that you refer to us that signs up, we'll give you a month free. And people love getting something for nothing, and especially if it's not a really hard sell. You just kind of put that in there, and you'd be shocked. Like most times, the best way to get a referral is like freaking ask for it, right? Like we think that like somebody's sitting there thinking about our best interests all day long. They're not. Ask for the freaking referral, and they'll give it to you.
Well, that's funny because I sat down with the pastor of my church, and we were talking about things that they need to do to start reaching out to the community and getting more traffic to the website and getting people to know. And he turned around and he said, listen, I'm going to put you in charge of this, and we will pay you to do this. And I will tell you that the referral network that we have is huge within churches. And pastors trust pastors trust pastors. So they will talk in an industry. So if you've got somebody in the oil industry, they talk to other people in the oil industry. And believe it or not, the biggest freaking conversation is, who do you use and do you trust them? So asking for the referral should be automatic part of saying hey to somebody or staying updated, but that newsletter thing,
and honestly,
that's a free space on your email.
Right, and if you don't want to sound really, if you want to flip the whole asking for somebody around, because like some people I don't want to ask because I don't know, I feel bad about asking, or I don't want to ask because I don't want them to think that I'm not successful, that I need to go out. And honestly, the easiest pitch, you just kind of flip it a little tiny bit and say, listen, dude, I love working with you, man. You're awesome. And I'm looking to continue to grow my business. And I figure, if you're awesome, then the people that you would refer to me, you'd refer to me, that, they would get it, and they're probably going to be awesome too. And now you just complimented the hell out of them, and now you're asking them for a referral as well.
Well, and I think with the referrals also, when you put it like that, the guy's going to look at the people he knows, and he's going to be like, well, Joe over there is kind of a dick.
Yeah.
And I don't want to give him, who I like, a dick to work with. So, hey, use Greg, or, here's Mary, or here's, somebody else. And he's going to leave, the dick off to the side.
Hey, Seth, have you ever had to fire a client? No, I'm being dead serious, right? Because I've talked about this quite a bit.
Have you ever had to fire a client?
Yeah, have you ever had to fire a client? You know that client that is only paying?
No, I've actually... Yeah. I haven't gotten to the point yet where I'm starting to weed out some of my lower end paying clients. I still have everyone around, but I definitely have clients in mind where I know
it's the most refreshing feeling in the world that the person that pays you 5% of your total income is taking up 95% of your time, and then you can kick them loose and you feel so free because all of a sudden you have so much more time left on your hands, right? And your whole body just kind of calms right down immediately.
I had a $2,000 a month SEO client, same thing, nagging time after time. We were getting great results, but they would never stop. And I was like, we're not a good fit. We can't work together. And, $2,000 less a month, but I had that tons more time. I got another client to replace it that took, just not even 10% of the time that client took.
I mean, it's probably one of the hardest things to learn in business is when you need to fire a client, but it's one of those things that's totally necessary.
Hey, Andrew, that is just so awesome that you even talked about that. One of my favorite dudes is Mike Michalowicz, and I worked with his guerrilla marketing group that he created to help with the launch of his books. And his first one was The Toilet Paper Entrepreneur. And it's literally creating a business and out of nothing, using every small bit that you have. And then his second book was The Pumpkin Plan, and he just released Profit First. I am going to give 5 of these. I'll even pay for it to be sent out. 5 people who go over to the SEO show Facebook group and put in a message that you saw the show today and that you want the Pumpkin Plan. I will send it to you. I'll connect with you and get your address. I will send you a free copy of it. I literally bought 5 cases of the book.
That's pretty awesome, dude.
Yeah, no, so I'll send it to you. It is a great book. It is a great read. He is a super smart dude. He's done IT businesses. He spoke on TED. He's on CNBC. He's all over the world. He's an awesome guy. But if you go over to the SEO show Facebook page and say you want the book, I'll get a hold of you. I'll send it to you free of charge. Because he talks about firing that guy and that, what it does to your business, what it does to you personally, and stuff like that. So when you said that, I just went, oh, I can start getting rid of all these saying copies. No, you are not getting the autographed versions of the book. Those are mine. So yeah, let's go over to Bob's question here. What's a good local niche to start with, and what type of local business is good to start with? My opinion is any of them that you can get through the door and listen to you.
Yeah, I'm going to be honest, right, Frank? We were talking earlier today. I guess down in Texas, down in Dallas, down in that area, rhinoplasty is like a huge fucking thing because everybody discusses rhinoplasty. I guess they have all screwed up noses down there. I don't know exactly what the scenario is, but I can tell you this. I can tell you that I can't get in touch with my own doctor sometimes on the phone, okay? I'm sure as hell not going to be able to get in touch with doctors and try and sell them SEO services, okay? Not saying it's not possible. What I'm saying is there are other business owners out there that are trying to push themselves in industries that you and I would think are absolutely ridiculous. It doesn't need to be these high-end industries where it's like the cosmetic dentist, the cosmetic surgeon, the plastic surgeon. Honestly, you move yourself out of those niches and you will own almost anything that you want to own in reference to that niche. So much easier doing SEO. There are people that like, for instance, I got a local guy here that he sells, he does like prototypes of I can't even, like little small metal prototypes. And you give them the designs, the CAD designs, they'll build everything out for you. I know with 3D printing, right, like some of that stuff. But like these guys are starving for business. They love business because a lot of business is going overseas right now. They'd be willing to pay you a fortune because, yeah, okay, the rhinoplasty surgeon makes $5,000 for the surgery. This guy has an opportunity to make $100,000 off a client, and by making his prototypes and changing them around and everything else. And hoping that, as you change your prototypes, you got to go back to it. So, like, a little thinking outside the box, man. There are companies all over the place that are looking for more traffic, more services. I say stay away from those services. Stay away from the freaking plumbers. Stay away from those home-based service businesses. You're only going to fight in the SERPs for them. You're going to fight with Angie's List, House.com, Home Advisors. You're going to fight with them. Go to a greener pasture, man. That's what I say.
There's a place right down the street from us. They are in a horrible location. They're across the street from the mall, but they're on a side street in the corner connected to an auto repair place. You don't know they're there. They're a cowboy boot place. Who the hell needs cowboy boots? Well, sadly, everybody in Arizona wears cowboy boots except for me. And the thing is nobody knows that these guys are there, but they're a national company. I never even heard of them before. I was looking at the oil change price and said, boots? There's a boot store here? I'm like, what the hell is there a boot store there? I mean, nobody drives on this street. And I grabbed their number and their name, and I called their regional. And I said, we would love to do some marketing for your Glendale location. And she's like, do you know they're one of our lowest places, our lowest income producers? And I said, well, who decided to put them in that building? And she's like, we have no idea, but we would love to talk to you about what you can do for the local market. Well, now there's an opportunity to then grow into, once I prove here, to move into something bigger because they are national. So get my feet wet here, and I'm going to be able to crush it because it's not like there's a shitload of boot companies that I'm going to be competing with.
You know how much money those little Italian guys make that have the shoe repair businesses? Do you have any clue how much money those guys are making? There's one in one of the local malls here. There's traffic coming in and out of this place. This guy is making a fortune. But like Bob's question, he says, like, what's a good local niche to start with? What type of local businesses are good to start with? And I always say, Bob, like it's cool for us to think about it, but I usually when I go and I do one of these little seminars at the local, or I travel around and do some of these business associations, they kind of determine what niches I'm starting with, though. It's cool for me to decide what niches I want to do, but, at the end of the day, you got to find the client that's willing to pay for it.
Yeah, I've always said, just walk outside your door. I was talking with somebody yesterday, and he's like, Ireland, what do I do? I said, go get a drink, coffee or a beer, sit down and watch what goes by. People are walking by with shopping bags. There's trucks for deliveries. You've got it all in your face. I mean, you even said Wednesday when you were doing your SimEasy webinar that you love it because your keywords and the niche and everything else is on the side of somebody's truck, that's doing something, and it's right there in front of you, and we don't even...
And if they're willing to pay for all that money getting their truck lettered up, like I said, chances are the only reason why they did it was because everybody else in the industry did it, right? Which means that they're looking for as much traffic as they can get.
Yeah, and that's awesome to give them a call. Listen, there's a lot more questions that we will...
blow right through them?
Yeah. If you guys... Are you guys cool for a couple more minutes? Byron, you
Definitely.
have no choice.
Yeah, I'm good.
All right. Yeah, you have nothing else. Says, been here. How do you determine pricing, whether it be for a new website or SEO services? Oh, damn it. I hate pricing questions.
I just made up some packages, basically. There's two ways to go about it. Either do it totally custom depending on the person and talk to them, which usually takes a hell of a lot more time, or have some predetermined packages, and then you can do a custom above and beyond that. At least that's what I do, because if you don't keep it congruent, you're going to be all over the place, in my opinion.
I kind of have like a base package I work off of, kind of like the same way Byron was saying, and then I really determine my final proposal to the person based on how much time I think I'm going to have to invest in that specific client and how much I think my time is worth for that specific project, I guess.
We always include the pain in the ass fee if we really believe that that's going to be a case, We do. I'm not even joking you. There is a pain in the ass fee that we do add. But for the most part, I think the same thing. We have a structured plan. We know what it's going to be. But within the conversation, if I realize that the scope is going to, they want to move into something else or whatever else, then, yeah, we do have to then start to customize it. But I like them to know there's no worse way to kill a potential new client than say, I'll get back to you with pricing. You've got to give them something.
Yeah, and that's a major thing is I think that's when a client goes, oh, that sounds sketchy.
Right.
Whoa, what do you mean you have to get back to me? You don't know what you charge for, what you do? And that's why I always hit them with this, and when it gets bigger, I go, well, that's great. We can do that. It just costs more.
Yeah, and it is very fair for you to explain to the client, listen, it all depends on the competition, blah, blah, blah. And that's very viable, but you've got to be able to give some sort of gauge of what they're looking at. Otherwise, there's a disconnect, Otherwise, they're sitting around now waiting for the next day or two by the time you get off your ass to get everything done for them, and they're thinking worst case scenario. They got to be prepared for at least what your range is up front. You got to that should be part of your discussion.
And don't go. And one of my favorite things is somebody goes, hit them high, pitch them low, and it's like, oh, it's going to be $10,000. I'm joking. Actually, it's only $5,000. I scared them at the big price. They were willing to take the. I don't like that bait and switch bullshit that everybody tries to get into the super sellers. There are power sellers who can do that and let them, but for you and I, start with the base, know your shit, and then move from there. And Leeds Ahoy says they think Plano, Texas is where all the ugly people are.
Yeah, I think he's right.
Kevin says, let the smart guys talk, Frank, shut up. Okay, all right.
So then we should only let Seth talk at this point.
Yes, yes. Lunch can wait, so not. Yeah. Lunch. Lunch, guys. You eat at your desks. Leeds Ahoy. I really like this.
That's Nick. Nick is a good freaking guy. For those of you guys that don't know Nick,
I don't know Nick.
I don't know Nick. No, Nick is pretty. Nick knows his stuff. He's been around. Nick does a lot of work online, and honestly runs a very successful SEO company.
He tells his clients they have to give him a referral after 2 months when he takes them on. He sets them up right at the beginning, which is smart. You know, then nobody can be, scared. In Nick, Leeds Ahoy says, hi all. Nick's got an issue.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's got a client he may have to fire. The lowest paying one, she expects more than the good ones. Yeah, and that was something that that Byron and I talked about a few weeks back, was client expectation. That I think that is one of the hardest things that anybody has, and I think that has to go with, like Seth was saying, with setting up a package. This is what we have. So then they're not confused, and if you're customizing every aspect of your business, do you think that has anything to do with the client expectations and setting boundaries?
Yeah, I also think that sometimes if you go in with a client, like that's the reason why we really don't touch any clients under about $2,500 a month. And the reason being is that if they're going to hand me $500, okay, and that's going to make or break them, they're going to be on top of me the entire time, okay? When money is not as much of an issue for them, they tend to not be on top of you as much. The other thing is, like I said, that little email that we set up, maybe every other week we'll shoot them out something, because they want to hear feedback from you. They want to hear from you. They don't want to know that it's the dude running the black box and so I'm just paying you every month. I don't know what the hell's going on. The more they hear from you, the less that they'll be on top of you most of the time. I used to think that if I reached out and got in touch with them, that they would just be asking more questions and everything else. They actually ask less questions.
Well, I mean, that makes sense. I mean, a desperate company that's got $500 to spend, and that's it, and that is going to make or break them. I mean, that's almost like us, or not us as in this group, but people who are buying these WSOs. They're so desperate they got to pay their rent that they're taking rent money to buy a WSO that's going to feed their family. They are into that, what's my next step? How do I do this? What do I do next? And, the guys who create these big, magnificently marketed plans get pissed because they have such needy clients, but what they don't realize is they went after that super needy client. They're not going to the guys and going, hey, you can't walk into this game unless you've got $15,000 to spend. Well, then automatically anybody who's broke ain't going to be talking to you. And the guys who got $15,000 to spend are just doing it for the connection, in my opinion.
Yeah, I've had clients who are paying $1,000, $1,200 a month, and when you start getting into the $1,500 a month range, that's kind of my loose minimum. It starts to get a lot better, but I have clients who paid $1,000, $1,200, and it's the same thing. They say, I don't know how much longer I can do this. My business is going under, and I don't want to be their saving grace because SEO doesn't usually work that way. You know what I mean? It's a bad position for any SEO company to be in. If you're pulling them out of a problem they got themselves into, it's not a good place to be for an SEO guy.
Real quick, Seth, if anybody wants to hook up, connect to you or bullshit or ask you any questions, how would they go about doing that?
I'm always on Skype or Facebook, my contact form on my website, any of those. If you want, I could type information in the chat box. I'm not sure if people see that.
No, in the chat it'll just be between us. What's your website URL?
All right, vineconcepts.com.
Okay, and what I'll do is I'll go in and in the description I'll drop your contact in there and make sure everybody can get a hold of you. I don't want to keep anybody longer. We've been an hour going on an hour and a half. What I'll do is I'll go in, or anybody can go in, and we can make any of the comments or answer any of the questions that are on the Google Plus comment section. And if you want to connect with each other, I appreciate all 11 of you that are here. No, I'm joking. There's 21 of you, I think. And I appreciate everybody being here. Andrew, thank you. I know you're a busy MFer. You've got a bunch of stuff that's coming out in the next few weeks.
We do. Actually, next week. So if anybody is interested in some of those traffic funnels that we do, you can now offer them to your business as well. Once again, just upsell, mark up what it costs you, and you're basically outsourcing that whole model of our business. And like I said, it's grown our business exponentially because we've been able to get such fast results for our clients.
That's awesome.
We put up a site, and within the first 24 hours, we have several thousand pages indexed, and then just indexing out to 1.6 pages. And we're able to start funneling that traffic immediately. I mean, it's ridiculous stuff. It's fun though, but it's really great. So for those of you that don't know, SERPspike.com, right? So
yes.
You go to SERPspike.com. You can put in your just put in your information, and then we'll send you out an email next week. We're gonna be pushing it.
And I want to make sure that everybody goes over to SimEasy. And here is my soft hard pitch for SimEasy, guys. Everybody who watches this in the future is probably going to be like, why SimEasy? You can buy a $40 product. You can buy a $40 product every day of the week and try to learn every new step there is. Or, as I've suggested to my students, clients, and everybody I talk to, you can jump over to SimEasy.com, spend $40, and stay for 30 days. See exactly what's out there. Talk to the people that are in the industry. Talk to the people who are trying to learn the industry. Get hits on software. You've got basically 8 webinars a month that are just SEO. They're no pitch. We're not selling you anything. The SEO, we're not pushing you to buy anything. I'm letting people know about SimEasy because we are members of it. We were members of it before we hooked up with Andrew. It's something that Byron and I, when we got involved with it, said that this is something that we can tell people about and feel comfortable with. But it's a one-time thing that you can test. You can't test out your WSOs and get your money back. You'll be a serial refunder and hated by the industry. But you can go in for 30 days, check this out, use it. If you hate it, go away. You can still remain a free member. And I don't know how long free member is going to stay, if it's a forever thing or if it's only every now and then. But you can be a paid member and hang out with people who are freaking doing it, and you've got people like Nick and Dallas and Dave and Justin and
Frank. People don't really realize it, but like, we got people that are like huge freaking names in the market that kind of stay under the wire. Like I said, the guy who created Hotmail, the guy who created Web TV. We got the co-founder of Expedia.com. There are these guys that are hanging out on the website, and they're offering information, but you really have no clue who these guys are. We only figured out who some of them are after speaking to them, and I'm going, oh my God, that's who you are. Okay.
Well,
so there's a lot of really cool.
But see, that's what I love is nobody's going in there saying, look what I do. Now kiss my ass and I might tell you something. They're just like, oh no, here's your answer. or here's how to do it, and hey, give me a call, give me your phone number, let's jump on Skype. Everybody's real open with this shit, and I love it because I'll turn it on and just wait for the chat ding to happen, and then go see what somebody said, and then go do something else. It's kind of crazy when you got Facebook ding.
You're a troller. You're just a hanging out troller.
Oh yeah, I'm a troller. I got no problem with it, man. I've got shit to do. I'm doing keyword research with my 14 plugins. Seth, I really want to thank you, my man. I know we're holding you up. I don't want you.
Not at all.
Support each other, love each other, get a hold of each other. Go over again if you want. Oh shit, I threw the book. If you want a copy of the Pumpkin Plan, I've got 5 I'll send out from this episode. Go over to facebook.com/somewhere SEO show, I think it is.
Hey, Frank, if you want to throw out a couple of free spikes for SERPspike, just so you guys know, SERPspike is not a plugin, it's a service. So if you want to throw out, the ball's in your court, my friend. I'll give you, you want to throw out 10 free spikes to somebody, go ahead. You make them do anything you want. Stand on their head, crow like a rooster.
Oh shit! No, we're not going to give out 10 right now. We got. You know what?
The next week, then I'm going to give you a whole bunch of them to throw out then for free.
Yeah, let's wait till we got something out there, and then we'll have something. We'll probably throw a couple of the sets so he can play with it and tell his folks that he's got a group going that he can tell them that it's a cool ass thing to play with. But I'm Frank Schwartz. That's Byron Lee. That's Seth. That's Andrew. This is the SEO show, guys. That's how easy we end this because there's no nice way to do it. So peace out. I'm hitting the stop broadcast. You all can